It's all about gratitude this week on Coffee and Coaching with Caryn. Listen in at coachinginthefishbowl.com.
Hey everybody, this is Caryn and you're listening to Coffee and Coaching with Caryn. We are talking all about gratitude and how gratitude impacts our life, all the fun things that come along with being grateful. And today my special guest is Pegi Burdick, who is the Financial Whisperer. And you can find out about Pegi at thefinancialwhisperer.com. And Pegi, are you here with me?
I am, Caryn. I am.
I am so grateful that you are here, and I'm so excited to hear what you're going to share. So I'm going to hand it off to you and share with us all of your thoughts and feelings about gratitude and all the fun stuff that you'd like us to learn.
Okay. First of all, thank you for doing this and making it possible for myself and everybody else to participate. But, you and I have spoken privately. I'm very clear about getting control of one's life, and one of them is to always have boundaries. And in my case, I use a kitchen timer. So when the bell goes off, we got to stop because I've got to go on to something, and I'm sure you do too. So
I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Gratitude, what a great question. Honestly, for me, I did not learn gratitude until late in my life. And I heard something on the radio. I heard something on NPR about a famous singer who was surviving cancer and how that's what brought her to her knees to be grateful. So that piece of information was so instrumental for me because that was around the time that I was starting my business, late as it was, I was 58, but it always stuck on top of my eyebrow. And when you put out this message to come and share it with other people, that what my experience of it is and what I do with it every single day, I realized that in doing this with you, that I didn't get here on my own. So part of what gratitude is about, it's about being humble. And it's about having perspective, in my case, of where I was. I didn't know what love was. I had all these crazy businesses. And then my life morphed into where it is now. I didn't do it alone. I had support. I reached out, asked for help. People gladly helped me. I got, constructive feedback. I got criticism. I got a whole bunch of information back, which is what happens when you ask, and then you find those core people who support you emotionally, psychologically. Sometimes, my brother had loaned me some money. So for me, I look back at the journey I've been on these 7 years, and I go, wow, look at all the people that came into my life to carry me and my message forward. For me, every single day when I get up and I look at my cat and I look at Pee-wee's face, I go, you know what? I am so glad you're with me on this journey. I am so glad when I look around my house, the things that I have of other people who have given them to me. I feel very blessed, and I think that's the great part of what gratitude is about. It's about the blessings that we have. Even in the smallest way, the blessings are not accidental. They're very intentional. They're very, very driven, I think, by things that we're doing in our life and about our needs. And sometimes you don't get exactly what you ask for, but you get what you need. And if you look at it in terms of always being in the receiving of it, it then just is expansive. And in the expansion, then, of course, you're able to give back, which is very, very satisfying. To receive and never give back, it doesn't feel good. So for me, I'm so blessed to have these people in my life who feel like my foot soldiers. They carried me in my message because, as you know, the things that we talk about are life-changing. I couldn't do my work. I couldn't help someone else if other people hadn't helped me first.
That's extremely, extremely powerful, and that's so, wow. We get so caught up sometimes in not giving. Mm-hmm. So wrapped up in ourselves.
My uncle was the head of psychology at a Midwestern school. I went to the University of Michigan, University of Wisconsin, I forget. And one day he said to me, it's better to give than receive. I'm thinking, God, I was young. I was maybe 12. I didn't really understand what he meant by it. But as I've gotten older, the joy of giving is so staggering. That in itself is a blessing, because what you get back from someone that you've helped, and it can be something small, like being in the grocery store and helping someone short get something off the shelf and only you can reach it, right? Or holding the door for somebody. The small little things of being gracious and respectful, the opportunities we have every day, they counter the anger and the fear that so many people walk around with.
Wow. Why is it so important to have those feelings of gratitude and have all of that good stuff running through our bodies? Why is that so important?
Because people are human. We are all the same. The kindness that I feel towards someone who has road rage, someone's honking the horn and gesticulating, you know what? I can't do it. I have to be soft. I have to be pliable. A, because I have to like myself and like my behavior. And B, that person's angry. And this sounds so, bizarre. But every time I see anger and fear in someone, I say to myself, this person doesn't have love. This person doesn't have respect. Because if someone receives love and holds on to it, they're a softer, better person. And we want to be kind. We live in a very competitive and angry society. The only way to counter it is kind of like the concept of pay it forward. Because what are we left with if we don't have a sense of humanity? And that what goes on with you, it matters to me. It matters, right? It has to matter, or else what are we, invisible?
Absolutely. It has to matter.
Yeah.
What are some do you have any special exercises or guidance or techniques that you do on a daily basis that you'd love to share with others in terms of expressing gratitude?
Oh, good question. A couple of things. I do tapping. And in tapping, it releases a lot of these pressure points in your body. And then I always mispronounce this, it's the Hanapuna Kuna, it's the chant of forgiveness. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you. And it's a much longer chant than that. But I've gotten to the place of looking at every single problem in my life or my clients' lives as speed bumps. There's a reason why I have to stop, slow down, and manage this bump. There's a lesson. My life, my journey is about healing. So that and this is a little woo-woo, but my spirit goes on to another body. So I got to do my work here. I got to make myself the best person I can possibly be so the next life this person has is easier. Because most of us, like 99% of us, have tough childhoods. We just do. There are a whole range of reasons we can discuss at the time, but the only way to counter that is to actively be grateful for the lesson, painful as it may be. That lesson will make you stronger, more vulnerable, but in the vulnerability, you're stronger, you own it, and that's what I teach people. It's about getting control, empowering yourself to live a conscious life and a kind life.
Wow. What are some fun things? Those are amazing. What are some fun things that parents can do with their kids in terms of expressing gratitude or teaching their kids to express gratitude?
I think it starts really early, and I love that question because what I notice more and more are people are not teaching respect. They're not teaching manners, and for all these generations of kids that are coming up, it's disastrous. Being able to say thank you when your mother puts down your cereal, being able to, make your bed without someone telling you to, being appreciative of the little things that you have. So if you build awareness in your young child and you practice it, you can't just say it, you have to do it. Kids are monkeys. They copy everything you do for better or for worse. So if you live a grateful life and a life of gratitude and constantly are aware and say thank you, it's amazing how that impacts your child. They will do the same thing and they will have the same, there we are, and the same expectations of the people around them.
I love what you're sharing, and I was like you where, gratitude was in my life, but I didn't really understand the whole concept until I became older and took a step back and realized all that I had to be thankful for. And it's just an incredible place. You're coming from such a powerful place, and I know you have an incredible story and how for you, becoming balanced and congruent brought a lot of things, all the puzzle pieces together, and you're able to help so many people. And I'm just so grateful that you've taken time today to share with us about gratitude. For those of you who are just joining us or may not have caught this full interview, please go back and listen. Pegi Burdick, who is the financial whisperer, just shared some incredible information and her thoughts on gratitude and how she lives in gratitude. Oh, wow. Pegi, thank you so much for sharing with us. Is there anything else that you'd like to share before we move on?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I hit the most salient points, but I so appreciate you doing this, Caryn, because we need to be kinder. We need to be softer. It can be ugly out there sometimes, and we need to counter that energy.
I agree, and the more of us being softer and being thankful, it's going to outweigh all the other stuff. And so, Pegi, thank you so much for joining me today, ladies and gentlemen. Again, that was Pegi Burdick, the financial whisperer, and she is joining us here on Coffee and Coaching with Caryn. Thank you so much, and we'll be right back.
Need a little more happiness in your life? Here you go. The Happiness Recipe Podcast to the rescue. Listen each week as June Klein and Sandy Weaver Carmen share wit, wisdom, and wonderful food with their guests. Guaranteed to add happiness to your life. happinessrecipe.net.
Are you looking for quality entertainment and activities for the entire family? Then come on down to the Plaza Theater Company and Plaza Academy Dance Studio, located in Cleburne, Texas. The Plaza Theater Company is an award-winning community theater that presents 10 productions a year, performing every single weekend. If you have a child that enjoys acting, dancing, or singing, then you can enroll them in the Plaza Academy Dance Studio. For more information, visit plaza-theater.com or call 817-202-0600.
Dreaming of turning your book into an audiobook? Make it happen. More and more people are discovering the joy of audiobooks. They should be discovering you. Our professional personal service gives you just the audio product you've dreamed of. Check us out, voiceworkondemand.com.
Now back to Coffee and Coaching with Caryn.
Hey, everybody. This is Caryn Fitzgerald, and you're listening to Coffee and Coaching with Caryn, and this is a special All About Gratitude show, and I am super excited because today I have with me Jason W. Freeman, and Jason has been described as an amazing individual who always inspires and reminds us to always give our best, and that was said by Greg Reed, and pretty much everybody knows Greg Reed. He is affiliated and supports Napoleon Hill and all the wonderful things we do to help people live an empowered life. And he speaks incredibly highly of Jason, and I totally understand why. After meeting Jason by phone just briefly, he touched my heart. And I know what he is going to share with you today will touch your heart as well. So take a few moments, sit back, and just relax with us. Jason, good morning. Do I have you with me?
Good morning, Ken. Thanks for having me on your show. It's an honor.
You are so welcome, and I'm so glad you're here. You are just an incredible man. And I'd love to just get right into the meat and potatoes of stuff, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, the meat and potatoes sound good. Yeah.
That's good. No gravy, just meat and potatoes.
Okay, no gravy.
I would love for you to share how you've learned to appreciate your movement and speech uniqueness as one of the greatest gifts you've ever been given. And for those of you who haven't met Jason yet, please go to his website at jasonwfreeman.com, and you can learn more about Jason and his uniqueness. I would love to hear, though, how do you see those uniquenesses as the greatest gifts you've ever been given?
Let me start by saying that I didn't always see these uniquenesses as the greatest gift I've ever been given. In fact, in grade school and high school, quite the opposite. I detested the body I had. But gradually, in the last 7 years, I've come to a new understanding of my my body and my place in the world. It started by taking new actions. On the advice of some friends, I went to a yoga class at the Sioux Falls YMCA just because I was desperate for something to change. Now, thousands of yoga classes later, and in June I became a yoga teacher, actually.
Wow. And with yoga, if I understand correctly, you were doing yoga like 2 and 3 times a day. I mean, from what I understand, you got yoga really is a calling for you.
Yeah, it became a calling. I love how yoga has the capacity to center us in our bodies, and it's a technology of awareness. And when we're aware of ourselves and when we're aware of the world around us, things begin to change because, like, for example, once I became more aware of my body and I was not just stuck in my head with my stories of disability, but I saw each class what I could do, and I saw my abilities expand, and seeing is such a good antidote for the stories went around in our head.
Our stories in our head are so powerful, and it sounds like you took yoga and that became such a powerful way for you to see what you were truly capable of, and the challenges that you were born with didn't matter. You could go past them if you chose to. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, you are. More than going past them, I learned to work with them. In yoga on my mat, I only have my body to work with. I couldn't fantasize about being someone else or anywhere else. I was on my mat, and so I learned to work with my challenges and to appreciate them. And when I was able to appreciate them, I could use them as powerful building blocks to live my life and to give to people. So the challenges literally transformed into gifts through which I see life, and gifts for me to give other people on a daily basis.
That is extremely powerful. And I know you've got some of the same habits I do, which is that perfectionist tendency. So
Oh yeah.
We all try, and none of us are perfectionists. I mean, we try, but none of us are perfect. So how have you found that the appreciation helps you deal with these perfectionist tendencies?
I could go on for hours about how my perfectionist tendencies have held me back from writing things, from submitting poems, on and on and on. And what it boils down to is the perfectionist never really appreciates our efforts. The perfectionist never really appreciates our own efforts. Like I could try and do my best, but the perfectionist within me would still not be happy, say, it's okay, but it can be a lot better, try harder.
So even though you were doing your best, you still, in your head, those voices were saying, not good enough, keep doing better. And so there was never a satisfaction. Is that how it plays out?
Yeah, that's how it played out, and it was exhausting, as you can imagine, because it was like I'd be working really hard, and then it still wouldn't be good enough to the perfectionist within me. What I found is, and what I'm still finding each day is, it's just surrendering to doing my best and then moving on. Like before I got on the phone with you, I was working on my website and some homepage copy, and it's not the way the perfectionist in me wants it at all, but if I was going to get on this call for a talk, I had to say, oh, I did my best and get off the website and get on the call. It's just life wants us to move forward. When we get stuck in perfectionism, we like say, oh, wait, I can't go forward until this is perfect. And life's already way past us by the time it does get perfect. And it never really does get perfect. So it's just exhausting.
It is. It is so exhausting to be trying to achieve something that just is, it's not a reality. There's never anything such as perfection, and you described it so perfectly when you said the perfectionist never really appreciates their own efforts, and that is so powerful. So when we shift from that and we release the desire and the focus on being perfect, and we just bring our best, and we start to appreciate ourselves, how does that self-appreciation ripple out into the world? How does that go out there?
I so love this question, because it wasn't obvious to me at first when I started on this path. I started taking yoga classes because I was desperate for my own healing, and that seemed like a very self-centered, but a neededly self-centered action, but that seemingly self-action has given me the foundation to do all the work I'm doing now. I'm relaxed in my body, so I can write with ease when I'm writing. I can coach people with ease when I'm coaching. I can speak with ease when I'm speaking to audiences. And 7 years ago, that wasn't a reality. I was stressed out, and whenever I tried to do those things, I would just tense up and become exhausting.
That is just absolutely amazing. And I mean, I have to tell you, I've spent some time on your website, and the things that you are doing and what you're bringing to others and what you're sharing is just so, it's powerful. It's so selfless. It's all about helping other people, and it sounds like along the way, you shared something with me that said consistent mindful activity and how you viewed yourself and your place in the world is how things started to transform. And you joked about it and said it sounds simple, cute, fast, and tidy, and it really wasn't any of those things. And I think that's how so many people view their lives, and yet so few have the strength and the courage to do what you're doing, which is stepping forward every day and making a difference. And I congratulate you for that, because that means you're living your best life and blessing so many other people, including myself, as you step forward, and I thank you for that.
You are welcome. Thanks for the acknowledgement. I think everyone has within them the courage and all they need to move forward in life. It just often gets covered up by like the need to be perfect or other voices that say I can't do this or this is too scary or whatever. But I believe that nugget of brilliance that can be expanded upon exists within everybody, no matter what situation they find themselves presently in.
Wow. That's extremely powerful. And Jason, you are just absolutely incredible. And I want to thank you for sharing with me this morning on our special gratitude show. Everybody, if you are just joining us or you missed any part of this interview, please go back and listen. JasonWFreeman.com is where you can learn more about Jason. Thank you all for joining us this morning. And Jason, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for sharing with us this morning. This is Caryn of Coffee and Coaching with Caryn.
You've been listening to Coffee and Coaching with Caryn. Thank you for joining us. Tune in next time for more Coffee and Coaching with Caryn. Until then, visit us at coachinginthefishbowl.com.